Hey guys, Video Psych here. Excuse me, 1 second. Jesus. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get straight to it. So recently there was a comment on my last video, and I've tried to get to this as fast as I could. I'm just gonna bring it up here. Just a short little conversation. He hasn't replied back or anything yet, and I also had just recently edited my message because my message was a little bit off. I think sometimes when I send a message like this, like YouTube will actually fuck up my message when I send it, so I had to re-edit it. But anyway. And the guy just says to me, seriously, you don't have to be good looking to have sex if you have a sex doll. And I replied back, look, I've known many average to funny looking guys getting with women, like my friend Chris I used to work with. And I don't know if you guys are just wanting to think this way, but you've got to have a good attitude when meeting with women and be fun to be around. But like I said in the end of the video, if you guys aren't worried about sex so much, then why act like this? This is why is this such an issue? And most people aren't really having sex like this anyway. And the reason why people aren't really having sex like this is because the reality is that, that's just really irresponsible to be having sex like that in the first place. I mean, the only people that are really having sex like that are either people that are paying for it a lot or people that are just really irresponsible. I mean, the people that are the most irresponsible people in my entire life that I've ever met are the types of guys that are going around getting laid a lot, the most. But in the end, they have pissed off a lot of girlfriends that they used to be with by cheating on them. They've pissed off a lot of boyfriends whose girlfriends they've cheated with. I mean, etc. And that, not to mention all of the other irresponsible things that I've seen them do. And the only things that they typically care about are just, living the moment of fun. They don't care about you or me or anybody else. They just want to live in the moment, and they will do almost anything in order to achieve that goal. Even if it hurts you or me, it doesn't matter to them. And I've been friends with at least a few of these types of guys, and it never ends well. Ever. But moving on from that conversation from my last video, the biggest reason why you do not want to say this to people in general, and I'll just read it one more time what he said, and I'll have to bring it out here. So listen carefully to what this guy is saying. Seriously, you don't have to be good looking to have sex if you have a love doll. Now just think about that for a moment. Now, I understand he thinks he's being smart when he says that. But what you're saying when you say something like that to somebody, and I'm not sure if he meant it or not, but it just sounds kind of misogynistic. Kind of like, we don't need women, or screw women, we'll just replace them with these love dolls, etc. That, to me, is what he is saying. In a quite literal sense, is just screw women. We have our love dolls and we don't need them anymore because we could just go to our love dolls for sex because that's what, women are used for anyway, or that's the only thing that women are used for anyway, etc. If you kind of catch my drift. Like, you are literally comparing a love doll to an actual woman is what you are doing. And I've even told this to the love doll community that I used to talk to in the past, almost 10 years ago now. Man, time flies, what can I say? But I even told them myself, even at the time, if you tell something like this to people, they are going to turn a deaf ear to you because they are just going to think that you guys are a bunch of misogynistic a-holes. And you are actually going to prove them right. by saying so. And, half of the community that I had talked with agreed with me, but then, of course, there are some others that didn't agree with me. And were trying to say shit like, oh, I'm pandering, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like I said, some people in some communities I do like, and some people I don't. That's just how it is in every community. Just like there's maybe even a couple of people that I like in some hater communities. It's not like I think all haters are bad people. It's just that I don't really agree with them. Is the thing. And sometimes their opinions can be very extreme, is the thing. And you kind of also need to keep that in mind, and also keep other people's feelings in mind too when you are saying something, that you aren't pushing them too far either. And so, getting people to listen to you can be difficult sometimes. But if you are saying something like this person said in this comment, you are going to raise a few eyebrows and they're going to stop listening to you. They are going to stop listening to your community, and they're just going to think, well, yeah, they're just a bunch of sexist a-holes, I guess, or misogynistic a-holes. I'm never going to buy a Love Doll, because the only people that because apparently the only people that buy Love Dolls are misogynistic a-holes, and so I'm never going to buy one. That's what they're going to think. And that's even without, context and data, what some people think anyway. And so when they hear you say something like this, it's just going to make it even worse on you, is the thing. And also my other point to him is, okay, so if you don't care about sex so much, then why are some of you guys bringing this up? Because every now and then I will see a guy on my channel bring this up. And like I said, some of you guys, not all of you guys, bring this up. And the thing is that the reason why they keep on bringing it up is because they don't have, I would say, they don't believe in themselves enough, And so when they say something like this, in my mind, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to justify that disbelief in themselves, that, hey, sex is impossible. And I'm justifying it by saying something like this, that just because I'm not good looking, so that's the reason why women aren't going out with me. And so it's impossible because of that. Now my disbelief in myself is justified because of this. That is what that says to me, is that you're trying to justify your disbelief in yourself. Even though that's actually something that's not really true, you're trying to justify it, is what you're trying to do. And that's not a very good state to be in when you're trying to justify something like that. And, that's just a very natural human behavior to do, but it's something that you also kind of need to just get out of. And it could take a long time for somebody that has, gone to that point where it's like they've just given up, you know what I mean? To get back out of that, because maybe there's a chance that they've tried so many times in the past and have failed at it. And I try to tell some of these guys, there's actually many, many people out there that are they at least have a harder time getting laid than other people, but it's not like they can't, And there are many, many people out there that are having a really hard time finding the right person to be with. Now, sometimes it could be something about them. Like sometimes people actually do have, I would say, bad taste in mates, or sometimes they're going only after the people that they can't have, etc. It could be many things. But, even for the people that are, I would say, don't have that many issues and they kind of have an idea of what they're looking for, even for people like that, they are having a bit of a hard time finding people and a reliable mates. And even if you do find a mate, it doesn't really mean that it lasts forever. But that's the thing. There's nothing about us that really lasts forever anyway. And so, just because somebody breaks up with you eventually after, let's say, 10 years or 20 years, which is, I would say, a good amount of time to be with somebody, it doesn't really always mean it's a bad thing. It's just that sometimes we just kind of need to move on to new things. Some doors close, but then new ones open, is the thing. So just keep that in mind as well. Even if like 1,000 doors close. There's always another door that you can open, etc. And even sometimes then you can also reopen the same doors, but that doesn't really happen as often. And with that being said, I will just end this video. And again, do not say what this guy just said. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.